The Old Guard, a 2020 American film directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood, written by Greg Rucka, and based on his comic book of the same name, is a film about a group of mercenaries, all centuries-old immortals with the ability to heal themselves, and they discover someone is onto their secret, and they must fight to protect their freedom. Starring Charlize Theron, Kiki Layne, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and once again, directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood. This was the choice of Lynn Webb as we continue through Octavia April. Lynn.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Old Guard.
Let's talk about the Old Guard.
Yes, sir.
Okay, not going to mess around. This is absolutely a great film. And the reason why this is a great film is because it's a movie that you jump right in. You just jump in the beginning. There's dead bodies on the floor. There's bullets dropping, and you're like, "What's happening?" Then you flash back a little bit, and you work your way back up to that point with the voiceover of Charlize Theron, just welcoming you into this world, walking you into this world of these seemingly like mercenaries. They're on this mission to rescue these kidnapped little Sudanese girls who look like, oh my God, yes, please, white people, go rescue the little black children. Like I am all for it. And they walk into an ambush. They are blitzkrieg. They are murked hard. And that's when the movie starts.
Yep.
That's when the fun begins. And that is within the first 10, 15 minutes of this film. It introduces you into this mercenary crew of immortals. The movie does not hold your hand. You catch up as you see what is going on. Chiwetel Ejiofor, who is a trusted face in pretty much every movie that he has been in, and he borrows on that trust that you, the audience, have grown to expect from him. He's a devious mother in this movie. Charlize Theron is queen badass in this movie, as you would expect. But the reason why this movie was chosen, not only because it is based on a comic book, not only because it talks about these immortals that are still walking the earth and have been walking the earth for centuries, but the reason why this is on our review in the world of Afrofuturism is because at this moment in the film, a new immortal is born in the guise of Kiki Layne as Freeman, Marine Officer Freeman.
Nile Freeman.
A
pretty black name.
Very, very, very pretty. And Kiki Layne, if you're not familiar with her at this moment, she had been in If Beale Street Could Talk.
Yep.
And Native Son. Those were her two big coming out projects before jumping into The Old Guard. And The Old Guard it's a comic book action movie. This is balls to the wall, action, shoot 'em up, fighting. You've got to get in. And if you only know Kiki Layne from If Beale Street and Native Son, you'll be like, she's going to be in The Old Guard?
Look,
I don't know about this. Let me tell you something. Kiki Layne is not to be effed with. Kiki Layne got in there. She gives Charlize Theron, who is Miss Badass Action at this moment in 2020, a run for her money. Everything she can handle in this film, like running side by side with her, fighting against her, fighting for her, just going at it. And that just makes this another movie where you just, oh my God, this is so much fun to see this black woman, decidedly black woman, handling business. And she is also many times the smartest person in the room. That's what I also appreciate, because while she is a military officer, she is a military officer. She leads a crew. She does not take any shorts. She don't take any shit. She is no joke. And that's not to be unexpected, because this film is directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood. And Gina Prince-Bythewood has proven herself to be an incredible director. But with this, she really just shows that, there is not a genre that I can't handle.
Mm-hmm.
There is not one genre that I can't handle. I don't care what y'all say. I can handle some action. I gotta move the camera. I gotta show a car chase. I've got to show hand-to-hand combat. I got to show shoot 'em up. I'm with you. I've got all your staging. And it's so well shot that you don't miss anything. It's well choreographed, and you see all the choreography. It doesn't feel like it's a whole bunch of like just quick jumping camera all over the place and a whole lot of quick cuts. No, you're feeling it. You're feeling the punches. It's very visceral. All of the action that is in here, and it is just fun. The story, it's like, they're immortals, and there is some big, Elon Musk looking type of dude who wants to, steal their DNA to use it in basically, in lieu of testing pharmaceuticals on rats.
Right. It's big pharma.
Yeah.
Big pharma.
Just use these immortals. They can't die. So we'll use them to test all of the drugs and things that they want to get going on. It's a story straight out of a comic book, right? You don't care. You see where it's going. The fun is just to go there. You already get a sense from the beginning, like, this group of immortals, they've been around for so long, as you see in archival footage that the movie shows you of them back in the Civil War and even before that, so you already get the sense of how long lived they are. The movie doesn't really hide, from my point of view, that there may be a traitor in their midst. They drop enough clues that you can kind of see it coming, but it still made sense.
Yes,
it absolutely made sense.
Yes,
and you actually kind of understood it.
Yeah,
you kind of like maybe rode on the side of the guy,
right?
So that means that the script is intelligent. That means that the script is smart. It's not trying to dumb down to its audience in any way. But at the heart of it, this is just a real crazy, enjoyable, fun movie that still asks hard questions. First of all, the idea of being an immortal.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Having to watch your families that you develop over the centuries die. Having your loved ones die. Do you dare find loved ones because you know that they're going to die?
Right.
You're going to outlive them. It's not something, this gift that you've been given, it's not something that you can pass on. So that has to be a hard pill to swallow. Then the idea of you're immortal, but you're not Superman. So you can still feel pain, and you can still kind of quote unquote die, because in this world, everything does die. It's just a matter of when does that time come? How many deaths are you allowed? And there is also this scene, which I have to admit has haunted me since the first time I saw this movie. When one of the immortals is caught.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And then caged in this iron casket that is that is then dropped into the ocean, so that this immortal is in this casket, dies, resurrects, still in the casket,
and then dies again.
And then dies repeatedly again for
500 years.
I could not imagine that. I swear to you, Vincent, there are still moments when I still see the scene of that immortal drowning, and then you see their face coming back alive and then dying again as the casket sinks.
Oh my goodness!
It's still every once in a while it will flash back. That was the test of me to watch this film, because like, man, I want to put myself through that scene again, and I'm glad I did, because I enjoy everything else around the film. And it plays a pivotal part in the story. But just that idea, that they could still feel this pain. And I don't know. There's one other point I want to make about the old guard, but I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that until after letting you go. But if you haven't seen the old guard, and we can get into some loose spoilers if you choose, Vincent. I don't know where you want to go, but if you haven't seen it, I'm telling you, you should see this film. It's a film that rewards upon rewatching, because it is just really fun. It is just a real fun movie. I know a good friend of the show, Ariel Johnson, is a huge fan and can't wait to the sequel. That is coming
in July.
But the old guard is all that.
Look, this is a film that is firing on all cylinders. It really is, top to bottom, left to right. As he mentioned, it is based on Greg Rucka's graphic novel. Greg Rucka also writes the screenplay. So it is so smart. It is so the world building is so complete. As you said, the way that this film dispenses information is a masterclass. And the way it brings you into this world. And again, the script crackles. This cast is good to amazing. We'll save the big three, but Harry Melling as this tech guy has this perfect sleaze to him,
don't he?
But also a level of intelligence, he carries it great. The immortals, Nikki and Joe, who play men who have been in love with each other since the Crusades.
Oh my God.
Played, Luca Marinelli plays Nikki and Marwan Kenzari plays Joe. So good.
The scene where they kind of like speak what they mean to each other.
At one point, some soldiers are being sort of alpha bro, homophobic, and one of them says, "What is he, your boyfriend?" And Nikki Joe launches into this amazing monologue about this love, which again, back to the script, you believe this is a man talking about someone that he has loved for a millennium. Like, I've loved him since the Crusades. And, this, that, and the other. Book, played by Matthias Schoenaerts, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name. Really good. It's this sort of odd man out, immortal, and has this kind of melancholy. But the three actors who are just carrying the weight of this thing are, Chiwetel Ejiofor, as you said, just blue chip. Just blue chip. I did chuckle. Like, anytime Chiwetel Ejiofor uses his British accent, he's a villain.
That's true. That is true.
like British Chiwetel Ejiofor is always a bad guy.
That is very true.
But is he really a bad guy? Like you understand his motivations. You understand who he is. He's this amazing actor. Kiki Layne, as you mentioned, when you think about Kiki Layne, I've adored her since If Beale Street Could Talk. But I've thought of her as this sort of actor,
right?
Almost a stage actress.
Mm-hmm.
She brings a zeal to the action. She brings a real commitment and confidence. And then Charlize Theron, same thing. Great action star, but the amazing thing about having actors, not action stars in an action film, is that the quiet moments resonate just that much.
Yes.
Like you have these amazing quiet moments between Charlize Theron's Andy, who is older than she can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And Theron has the weight, like you feel the weight. And Kiki Layne's Nile, who's been thrown into this thing, but is a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. And then at the helm of it is Gina Prince-Bythewood.
Yep.
And much like you, and I think much like many of us, when we heard that she was directing The Old Guard, it was like, oh, well, all right, how's that going to work out?
Right. The Love and Basketball.
But that's the thing. When you think about Love and Basketball, when you think about The Woman King, this is a director who directs movement.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how to direct a kinetic scene. And as you said, I love fight scenes that are also part of the narrative. Like this also is character building. And the great thing about Charlize Theron's Andy is that she fights like you would think someone who has been alive thousands of years can fight. Like at one point they lampshaded in the movie where one of the characters says she has forgotten more ways to kill people than armies will ever learn. And you see in the way the fight scenes are choreographed that she fights like this. Mm-hmm. As you said, Nile is not some sort of fawn in the forest. She's a United States Marine. So she is also good at fighting. Mm-hmm. And then the scenes where the unit fights together, they fight like a group unit of people who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
Yes.
But all of this is storytelling. Mm-hmm. Like all of this is something that a director has to capture.
Yep. And
again, every aspect of the film works amazingly well. And as a sort of a sub-theme of this month, I thought about it, and it has this kind of 80s feel to it because so many of those great films from the 80s,
the action films,
like the science fiction films, but it's a murderer's row of directors. Ridley Scott, Steven Spielberg, Joe Dante,
James Cameron.
Like these dudes were directing these films. Mm-hmm. And then just the caliber of actor. Sigourney Weaver, Harrison Ford, you know, like we kind of joke about him, but Arnold Schwarzenegger actually is good in these kind of movies. Mm-hmm. You come from this almost tradition where, like we said, we were joking at the beginning, apparently the secret formula for making a great film is you have a great director, great actors, and a great script. And this film, it really is like this really is, as you said, it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's a fun film. It's a film that rewards rewatching. But I would dare say that this is also just a great film. The way we talk about some of these genre films are like, you know, Alien is a great film. Mm-hmm. Terminator is a great film. I think this is a great film.
It is very much so. And I also think that for it to be this big action film, it's not some big like special effects thing. That's the other thing I love about it.
Look, Charlize Theron, Kiki Layne, the other members of the old guard, you can tell these actors train because, you know, obviously it's stunt people involved. Right. But you can tell the difference between stunt people involved because, you know, the insurance companies are saying, hey, you can't do that. And this sort of Tom Cruise level of the actor has also committed to this.
Right. Yeah. So it's
like they are the special effects.
They are the special effects, and they really they show it. It is all on screen. The one thing I did want to point out in, mad props to Kiki Layne.
Yeah.
But I want to spend a little moment on Charlize Theron, who definitely has developed into like this big action star.
Right. It's like it's this new. Well, speaking of Liam Neeson, it's like this Liam Neeson part of her career. Yeah.
Right. And deservedly so. But you pointed it out. She is a better actress than I think people give her credit to be.
Absolutely.
I think she is actually, more often than not, I enjoy just her straight acting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I don't know if I sensed it the first time I saw this film, but definitely the second time I saw this film. Today, I started thinking about women who are now like action stars or have been considered like the action stars of the last 30 years, right? Which you definitely think Charlize Theron. For whatever reason, people think Angelina Jolie, and there's been a few, like one or two, Kate Beckinsale, Mila Jovovich, who've definitely been in their lanes and had their franchises, did their things. But I looked at Charlize Theron.
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, Zoe Saldana.
Most definitely. She just hasn't been like the lead of a lot of them, except Colombiana. But I was thinking, but even Zoe, to that point, I think Charlize is the one who, above all of them, carries it as far as the physicality. Yeah. Because she's not a small woman. So when she is beating up men, it looks very believable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As opposed to like Angelina Jolie in Salt, which I was like, this is make believe.
Right.
This is absolutely make believe.
Well, she definitely has the stature.
She's got the stature, but then she also has the gravitas and the acting, so that even when she's fighting, she's still looking the role.
Again, it's the story. Like you can feel the fatigue off of her. Like there's this wonderful scene on a plane where she and Kiki Layne's character are fighting. And it is such a wonderful character building moment because you can see, once again, this character, Nile, who is new to this, but she is a trained soldier and she's very good at what she's doing. But she's fighting someone who's been alive for 3,000 or 4,000 years.
Yep.
And is
no matter how good you are, you're out of your league.
No matter how good you are, I'm actually letting you throw a tantrum.
Exactly.
I'm letting you throw a tantrum, and I'm going to let it go until the moment that I'm not.
And then I'm going to say, all right, this is over.
This is now over. But like you said, I can say it, but the storytelling of the movement does it. Yeah.
Yeah, it really made me appreciate it that much more. And it made me think, if I could turn back time, I would put Charlize Theron. I would put Charlize Theron, like, how many movies? Like, first of all, she would be my Wonder Woman.
Oh, well. You notice no one mentioned Gal Gadot.
That's the thing. Like, dude, she should be Wonder Woman. She should be Wonder Woman. I don't give a. She should be Black Widow. She should be Tomb Raider. Like, I don't care. Name me. There is not one.
Right. She should have just been.
She should have just been in everything.
Look, man. Look.
Everything.
Yeah. You know, the other thing that I really loved about this script, and there's something that I really loved about the graphic novel. Like, I love these stories, like I always talk, I call it like my Dracula plan. Like I love these stories about immortals where they kind of deal with the logistics of it.
I do too.
I just called it my Dracula plan. Like sometimes I have a thought experiment. Like if I was turned into a vampire or I found out I was immortal, it's like, okay, but what do you do now? And it's like, the whole Dracula thing in the book where he was trying to figure out how to get a house in London, and he had like the coffin, like what are the logistics of like now you're going to live forever? Like what are the logistics of it? Like what do you do first?
So Dracula has a realtor taking him around to different castles? Like what's that?
That's literally the plot of the book. Like Harker is a real estate agent. And he goes,
that's true. That's right.
Yeah, that's actually the plot of the book.
I forgot about that.
Right. Harker goes to meet this mysterious Eastern European count who wants to move to London.
I forgot about that.
He's a real estate agent. That's the plot of the book.
So you say you need dirt in the basement, right?
Right.
Well, that's good. That's going to cut our listing down, but
again, you're immortal. So now what? Like you got to figure out, like I need a place to stay. I got to learn different, and they talk about it in here. Like, they learn different languages and they had these, like you got to have somewhere to keep your stuff.
They're opening a giant down the street. It might be.
Look, there's a wonderful moment. And again, it's these little details that I love so much where these people have been alive for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, you just kind of keep, you kind of keep your head low and do your thing. But the thing about the modern age is that everyone is carrying around a camera in their pocket.
I know.
Everyone is taking pictures.
I love that scene.
So there's that moment where Andy is just caught in the background of a picture. And she, very fluidly and smoothly gets the phone and erases it in a way that she's been dealing with this since the advent of the smartphone. Right. But again, that's part of her Dracula plan.
I love the detail of Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, who's kind of like piecing this history of the immortals together on like this big whiteboard. And in a scene that they do 10 zillion times better than Justice League, they show like how they've been in throughout history and like the how they've been helping people,
right?
How they've been touching and making history, and that's what made me watching that was like, why wasn't she Wonder Woman? Because it was because it's the plot of Wonder Woman.
It's the plot of Wonder Woman.
It's the plot of Wonder Woman right there. It's like, oh my God, man! Oh, it's such an amazing movie. But with all of that, I do have to ask you the question. I have my answer.
Okay.
Is this a black film?
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Gina Prince-Bythewood directed it.
Is that enough for you? That's not always enough.
No. That would be enough for me. Full stop.
Okay.
This is especially relevant because we talked about this last week and we've been talking about it the past couple of weeks. I love the fact that these immortals, these sort of otherworldly beings or figures. Well, Nick is I think of Arabic descent.
Yes.
You get, but the rest of them are just old. They're just white people, and are like we talked about with the Will Smith character, our point of view character, our entry into this world is a black person. So we are seeing this through her eyes. So therefore, she is the subject. I think that would make it a black movie.
Okay, fair.
You know, and then, you know, I just love Chiwetel Ejiofor. Like I actually could have watched the whole movie of him with the corkboard, putting the stuff
Sure, why not?
together. And you know, and now, again, the Dracula plan makes sense.
You know you're Dracula.
We need somebody to erase our digital footprint. And there's that so good. Like over the credits, like you said, they're showing all the shots of them throughout history. And then the credits end with a shot of Kiki Layne from some security footage.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see a cursor that says delete picture, because now Chiwetel Ejiofor's character is part of it.
That's right.
Yeah, I love this. Actually, this is my second time seeing it from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
And much like you, I was so impressed with the craft. I just enjoyed the hell out of it the first time I watched it. But this time I really enjoyed it and admired the craft. And I was so happy for Gina Prince-Bythewood. I was so happy for everyone involved. And, you know, much like everyone's saying, I'm looking forward to, although she's not directing the sequel.
I think she's a producer on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's the sister directing it.
Yeah. So she, you know,
she handed it off.
Handed it off.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't mad at it. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do when you get to a certain point. You know, she's moving up. She's moving up. Trying to be Ava DuVernay.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it at all. But I definitely think it's a black film.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely, I agree. Definitely because of the POV of Kiki Layne's Niles Freeman character. Gina Prince-Bythewood. I don't know. You said it would make it a black film, Gina Prince-Bythewood directing it full stop. I don't know that a black director makes a movie a black film to me.
Okay.
Full stop.
Look, it's the Seraph of the Swanee argument. You know, it's just the old argument, the Seraph of the Swan. That's Zora Neale Hurston's book about all white people.
Mm-hmm.
How you going to say a Zora Neale Hurston book isn't a black book? Because the subject isn't about black, like it's Zora Neale Hurston. She wrote it. So obviously it's a black book because Zora Neale Hurston wrote it.
Okay.
So,
but that's writing a book, which is a singular vision. Directing a movie is, as much as it is your movie, I don't think that makes it a black film. Now,
so if I teach a Gina Prince-Bythewood class and I do Love and Basketball,
The Woman King,
Beyond the Lights.
Yeah, right.
This doesn't fit in that class?
No, because you're talking about the filmography of Gina Prince-Bythewood,
which means it's a black.
No, it means
class,
that it's a film that she directed, but I don't think that necessarily makes it a black film. No, this is a black film. So I'm saying that. But if it's a film, how do I want to put it? I just don't think that a black director alone on a film makes it a black that doesn't feature black characters or black story. I don't think
a black woman at the helm, a black woman gets this opportunity, a black woman kind of expands the possibility of what a black creative can do.
I don't think that makes it a black film.
All right.
I think that makes it a film. You know,
so
the same way is.
So you would say 25th Hour is not a black film?
Actually, that's been a bit of a reason why I haven't selected it. One, I haven't seen it, so I can't definitively say. But I'm not sure I would call that.
I'm 100% going to pick it.
That's fine.
Yeah,
and it probably will because there's a black person in it, so it's a difference.
Yeah, it's no black people in 25th Hour.
No, you know what I'm thinking about. What's the?
I mean, Rosario Dawson is.
I'm thinking about somebody. I'm thinking about another movie. I'm thinking about a Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because 25th Hour is directed by Spike Lee, though.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's basically Spike Lee being a hired hand on that because he didn't write it.
He didn't write it, but it looks And I use that for a specific reason because Spike Lee is a much more stylized director.
Okay.
Like he had, so like when you, like if I didn't tell you that Spike Lee directed it, you would know within 10 minutes.
Because of his directing style.
So even as a tour,
that still doesn't make it a black film.
Okay.
It just means that he's applying his style onto it.
Oh yeah, I'm picking that in the next couple of months because that's a good conversation because I think it's more of an argument for that than this.
Okay.
So, all right. But speaking of tradition, immortals, doing things a certain way, your Dracula plan, like you got to get passports. Like you got to figure out how to get a bunch of different passports. You got
there's a lot of stuff you got to do.
Get some stuff. Like you got to have a spider hole in case you got to escape. Like I love the fact that when they ran, they had some spots set up,
of course,
that you didn't escape. Like as we set up our plans, would you recommend The Old Guard?
I would absolutely recommend The Old Guard. If you have watched it yesterday, watch it again. Just watch it again. Great film. I would recommend The Old Guard. And you?
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. It's again, this is I think this is actually a great film.
Absolutely.
I think this is actually a great film.
Absolutely.
And I know it's in July. Did you have it? Do you happen to have an exact date when the sequel comes out?
That's a good question. Let's look it up.
Yeah, the sequel comes out in July. Those of you who are open to graphic novels, it's a great graphic novel. It really is.
July 2nd.
July 2nd. I will be watching it July 2nd.
Victoria Mahoney is the director.
Yeah.
On that film. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. Before we tell you what we're going to be reviewing, that is our review. That is our review of The Old Guard.